In this lesson, we will install Flutter on Windows system. Now if you are at macOS, then I want you to skip this lesson and head towards installing Flutter in macOS lesson. So now let's get started by installing Flutter on our Windows device. So navigate into flutter.dev and click at Get Started. And now we'll be selecting Windows over here. And the first type of app will be the mobile app, so click at mobile. Now scroll a little bit and here you can see that in our development tools, it is required that we install Git for Windows. So click at Git for Windows, click at download. And now that the Git is being downloaded, let's move into the previous section. And now we need to install this Android Studio. This Android Studio comes with SDK platform tools and many other tools that will be required for Android development. So let's go ahead and install this as well. So click at Android Studio. You will be taken to the Android Studio page. Now click at download. And now you can download the Android Studio. Your version might be a little different than this one, but it does not matter because we will not be coding on Android Studio. We will only installing it for the tools and SDK it comes with. So click at download, accept the terms and conditions and download Android Studio heads up for Windows. Now your download should start shortly. Now our Git has been already downloaded, so let's install this. So this will open up the installer, and if there are any previous version, then this wizard will automatically remove it and install the new version. Now after this is installed, you can uncheck all the boxes and you can click at finish. Now while the Android Studio is being downloaded, let's move to the previous page. And from this development tools list, we have already downloaded and installed Git for Windows. Our Android Studio is being downloaded. And once the download has been complete, you can go ahead and install this version of your Android Studio. So let's start with Android Studio installation process. Now your version might be a little bit different, but it does not matter. So click at next. And then we will be needing this Android virtual device. So click at next as well. And then you do not need to change this. Click at next and click at install. This installation process might take some time. Once it's completed, click at next. And then you can just uncheck this and we'll be coming to Android Studio later. So click at finish. So back to our list for requirement. We have already downloaded and installed Git for Windows. We have already installed Android Studio. So now we'll be needing a text editor for writing our code. So we have selected Visual Studio Code. But the installation of Visual Studio Code is in the next lesson, so I'm going to skip this for now. We don't need to download anything from here. And now the important part, we need to install Flutter Software Development Kit, also known as Flutter SDK. Now click at download and install. And now you can download this zip file into your system. So click at download and then your download is start. It might take a while for the download to complete. Flutter version that you are currently downloading might be a little bit different than this one, but it does not matter. Now once the download has been completed, let's go ahead and extract this zip file. We need to extract the file so that we can use as an SDK. So double click the file and extract all. Now you can check this box if you want. This will show the file that has been extracted. And now click at extract. Now once it is extracted, this is what it should look like. So inside of this folder, we will be having this Flutter folder, which is our software development kit, right? Now navigate into this bin directory and you can click here and copy this path. Now once copied, we will paste this path in our environment variable. So press your Windows key and then type env, meaning environment, and you will be getting this. Click at this edit system environment variables and click at environment variables. Now double click at this path, create a new path and you can paste your directory over here. So click at OK, OK and OK. Now let's test if our Flutter SDK is working fine. So click at Windows key and then type cmd, meaning the command prompt. So launch your command prompt and type Flutter doctor in your command prompt. Now this will check if everything is working fine with our Flutter installation. And here you can see that we have got two errors. The first error has occurred because we have not completed our Android SDK component setup. We'll be doing that shortly. And the second error has been triggered because we have not installed the files or the programs that are necessary for developing our apps for Windows. But we do not need apps for Windows, so we can ignore this Visual Studio error, right? So let's go ahead and start up our Android Studio so we can download Android SDK and install in our system. So you can close your command prompt for now and launch Android Studio. So you can click at next and you can select this standard and then you will see the list of things that will be downloaded. Android emulator and different other SDK tools will be downloaded. So click at next, and then you can accept all the license. You can accept this as well. You can accept this, and then click at finish. And now the downloading and installing process will begin, and this will take a while. And after everything being installed, you can click at finish and complete your setup. After the installation, you will be greeted with this dialog. Click at more actions and then SDK manager. We need to install a couple of things to get our platform ready. So now click at SDK tools and check this Android SDK command line and this NDK. And now click at apply. Confirm this, and this will download the required command line tools and then the NDK tools. Once everything is downloaded and installed, click at finish to complete the setup. Now click at apply and then OK. So now open up your command prompt and type Flutter Doctor. So now the Flutter is able to find our Android Studio, but we have not accepted the license and it's suggesting us to run this command. So let's copy this to accept license. Alright. So copy this and then paste it over here. And now click enter. So when you run this command, most of you might not be getting this error. But for those who are getting this error, let's go ahead and debug it. Now if you are not getting any error, then you can skip a little bit and then continue with the lesson. Alright. We get this error when there is a version mismatch in our command line tools of Android SDK. So if you get this error, then open up your Android Studio. Click at more actions, SDK manager. Now switch to this SDK tools. And you want to uncheck this hide obsolete packages. Alright. And then you need to navigate into this Android SDK command line tools. Now you might have installed this latest version, right? So uncheck this and you need to download this 8.0 version. Alright. So click at apply. Okay. And then the supported version will be installed, and now we will be able to accept the license. Alright. So let's wait for the installation to complete. So after that is installed, click at apply. Okay, close your Android Studio and then relaunch our command prompt. So now run Flutter Doctor again. And now let's copy this command and then paste it over here. Alright. Now type Y, mean that you want to accept this. Again Y. Yes. And we have accepted all of these licenses. Alright. So let's run this Flutter Doctor command again. So here we can see that license error is no longer here, but we are still getting two errors. The first error that can be ignored is that we are not developing the app for Windows, so we can ignore this. And about this second error, you might not be getting this error on your Flutter Doctor command. Now if you are not getting this error, then you can skip a little bit in this lesson and head towards installing the emulator. But if you are getting this error, then this is how you can solve this. So for fixing that error, navigate into the folder where Android Studio has been installed. In most of the cases, it is installed in local disk C, program files, Android, and then Android Studio. Alright. If you have changed the location previously while installing, then you can go ahead and find that location. Now once you are inside of this directory, I want you to open up this JBR folder. Control A, meaning you want to copy all of this, copy, and then navigate into this JRE folder and then paste it over here. Now you want to replace all the files in that location. So once this is done, navigate into the command prompt again, and now let's check this Flutter Doctor command again. And here you can see that everything is working fine and this error can be ignored. Alright. Now while running this Flutter Doctor, if you are getting any additional error, then you can seek help from the Google or Stack Overflow or ChatGPT. Alright. This is a standard way of installing Flutter in your device. Now let's head on with the installing of emulator. So now you can open up your Android Studio again. Now let's create an emulator. So click at more actions and then virtual device manager. Now click at this plus icon and then let's select our device. And I recommend you select from phone category and then the Pixel 7. Click at next. Now if there is no option for Pixel 7, then you can select any of the phone, it does not matter. And now click the next button. And now we'll be selecting the Android version to install in that device. I currently have this upside down cake available. When I install Android Studio, you can have a look at any of this Android version, or you can download any of this Android version to use on your device. Currently this is available in my device, so I'll be selecting this and next, and everything seems alright. So now click at finish and our device will be created. Now if you want to launch this device, you can click this play button and it will start up our emulator. The first start of your emulator might take some time. Now the only thing remaining for our Flutter app development is to install Visual Studio Code. So we'll install that in the next lesson. So I'll see you there.